We're live! Hello, everyone. Regular meeting, RFM. It's the 6th of February. It's just Daniel and myself. And prior to the meeting, we were talking about searching through a database. And maybe we can talk about that in a little. Daniel, did you do anything in the last week for RFM, or have you been busy with your job interview?
No, I've been busy with something else. I I still try to understand, the data flow in Ember. I almost there, but the statistics you have SQL queries. I think they are in the uh, schema file. There are some
No,
SQL queries.
there's no query in the schema file. Do you want me to show you how search is implemented in RFM?
Yes.
I will probably just share my screen then. So that was your nice handy Heroku app. So let us see on GitHub. And as far as I know, I don't quite remember how we implement it, but it's certainly in the backend. So all what we do is we send a particular query parameter to the search. So where's the search on Rundfunk mitbestimmen? If you go to find broadcast, if you click on find broadcast, then you have a search here. And you can basically search for anything you want. And then you click on it, and then you see up in the URL, there's a parameter Q and then the search term. If I refresh the page, I'm already searching for it. By the way, that's a reason why one of the broadcasts is so much over the top. Like it's the one that has the most votes did it like that. It's called Game 2. And one of the employees at Game 2 pasted a link with a search query on Reddit.
No.
So people went on that link and they just saw they saw this Game 2 and just that broadcast, and people were supposed to click on support, right? And that's why we have so many votes for Game 2. So what happens if you search? So let's see. If I change the search query to search query, there's one request made to the backend. So the backend lives at API rundfunk-mitbestimmen.de, broadcasts, ? And then you have like filter. And somewhere in here, we also have the search. In here, you can see it. There's query. Oh, no. So this is the queue. Then you have the equal sign and then search query. And that's like the actual search query.
All right. How it's because I have these questions this week. How it is from the security point of view? Because I see you sending like a request to the database, yeah, query and where.
Yeah. So that's a good point. Every user-generated content, every user input is potentially a security vulnerability. So let's have a look or actually I want to show it on GitHub. So the search query goes to the backend directly. And now you're asking, how is the backend actually secured?
Yes.
Let's have a look. And we probably can find something here, action search. This is the front end, back end. All right. So we have a test. Tests are always great. Full search. So what's going on here? First chain. So we're testing a so-called active relation. So what is relation? Relation is that one here, described class, alias in a join, So the described class is broadcast. So the broadcast model has a method called alias inner join. So we don't have to really care about that, but we can do a full search, like dot full search, right? And I can check it out on my machine. So when I, for example, go here and I say git pull, in the meantime, I'm going to start my Postgres database. We're going to need that. Postgres. Yeah. There we go. Now Postgres is running. Bundle. I don't know if I have all the bundles installed already. I don't think so. That will also be necessary before we continue. So there's a method full search. Now let's search for full search in this repository. So I guess full search is the class method for doing the full text search. And I'm looking for yeah, sure, the model. There was pg search scope, full search. Okay, so let's search for that word. I'm trying to find the controller where we can see the request. Oh, we're unlucky. But we can probably search for it on the Google. And there we go. There's pg case commons pg search, apparently a gem. And it's using both, it's facilitating Postgres full text search. And you just have to install the gem, load it, and include it into one model. So when you have pg search, then seems so you have a method. There you go. pg search document. So where does that come from? Can you see it?
Yes.
Where?
No, I mean, I can see what you are doing.
I just want to see the connection. So what do we have here? It's a search scope. So I have to scroll down for search scope. Blah, blah, blah. There we go, search scope. So that's apparently the API that we are using. So you include pg search, and then you say pg search scope, and that gives you a method called search by title. And in our case, that would be, where is it? Full search. So what we have to do is to search for full search. So I apparently named it full search. And yes, we have the spec. That makes sense. And so we have the model, and there's another class method called search. So we have to look for search, just that.
Broadcast search, yes.
Broadcast search. So I'm expecting that we have in the backend somewhere call to broadcast.search. Next. Maybe a little bit too broad. Next. There we go. This is it. So we go into the broadcast controller. I mean, obviously the broadcast controller, because the request to broadcast is apparently hitting the broadcast controller. So let's have a look into that. And we can see search. There it is. So the first thing, once you, if you send a GET request to broadcast, then it's almost the first thing is doing the search. So we check for params queue, and this is the query. So it's going directly to the query. So there's no security in here. Apparently I'm just trusting this GAM PG search scope. Okay. Let's see if they tell us anything about security. No, there's nothing about the security in this GAM. However, I'm pretty sure we can. It's not a big deal because, yeah, security. Doesn't seem suspicious. So usually when you have an argument that you want to put into any SQL query, let's go into the backend and start the console. What's wrong? Bundle install. Ruby version. Okay. Oh. Two 2.5.1. I am on 2.5.1.
Yeah, it says that you don't have readline as 07. I had this error a few weeks ago. I don't know what I did, but I had the same.
So this is the first time this happens to me.
I saw it. I had to recompile Ruby because yeah, lib readline was updated, and instead of S07, I got S08 on my disk, and it wasn't working. So I had to recompile my version of Ruby because I'm not using Ruby from the repo, but from the RVM.
Yeah, I'm also not using. So I have a version manager called change Ruby. Can I list? Seriously?
Yeah, if you check the lib directory in your user lib, then you don't have lib readline S07, you got S08. Yeah, I had exactly the same problem.
Yeah, you're right. And what is it looking for?
For S07. So for you can try to make a symlink from S07 to S08. It might be working, but I had to recompile Ruby to get it working.
No,
so reinstall,
I don't think I want to do that. However, I think if I would use the system Ruby, I wouldn't run into that error. Is that correct?
Yeah, probably yes. Because I'm using as well.
That's something which is really annoying. In Docker, everything would be just great. Shall I run the Docker? I think the Docker now will be probably the easiest thing. Docker compose up. Yeah. Oh, okay. I have to. Oh, okay. No, this takes a while. Probably compiling Ruby will be faster. Typing that. Okay. Do you want to be the driver?
What? Yeah. What were we searching for?
So we are searching for how does the search work in RFM.
Okay. So
share the screen.
Application window. So I'm sharing my Rundfunk is working.
Can you increase the font size?
I have the same error as you.
No.
Exactly the same.
Okay, that doesn't work. But okay. So the point here is we are using Piggy Search Scope in order to create this huge thing. And what I wanted you to show is go into the console and use this method directly, right? Broadcast.search, and then type in any query you want.
Okay.
And then say to SQL, because this game is doing nothing else than translating your input into a search query that you can fire against Postgres. And all you have to do is to tell Postgres, I want to index these and these and these attributes. For example, the description of the broadcast, the title of the broadcasts, the station, the medium of the broadcast, and then you're there, right? This is all you have to do. And you even have, you can do some tweaking. So you, for example, for the description, you have trigrams. You don't have, if you have many words in it, it's not required that all of these words appear in the text. Just one can appear, and it might also be that there's a typo in it. It will still match certain broadcasts, which is nice.
So can I choose which column I want to search? I don't want to, search all the columns, but just some of them.
Yeah, it's you can see it in the code. If you look into, if you have a look into broadcast, into app/model/broadcast, then you would see that we have a list of attributes that you want to include in the search query, in the search, sorry, in the search index.
Okay, so I'm gonna PG search. I'm gonna look into it. So I was looking into Elasticsearch. You probably know it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it's nice because you can just send a request, get a request and get the data from there.
Yeah, I mean, Elasticsearch is great and all of that, but Elasticsearch is a beast. Like, it's a huge thing. It has a lot of dependencies, and if Postgres has this feature of searching it, and we don't have any dependencies, I would prefer use Postgres because it's all
exactly.
We just have one table. We just have one table that we are interested in. That's the broadcast table. Maybe we are interested in some associated models like the author. Maybe I know we're not taking the author into account, but definitely we take into account the name of the station. So if we would search for WDR, then you would find all the stations that belong to all the broadcasts that belong to that station, and that's it. I mean, we're not interested in any more. The search itself kind of works. But here's something that you could actually improve. Sorry? You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you as well about this. What's in the schema file?
The schema file. Schema file is not really interesting for searching. I can have a look.
No, but yeah. DB. So if you go at the bottom of the schema file, you got here, lots of like statistics broadcast, and I think that's used for all the visualizations. Am I right? Because
so these are database views. We are using database views to have an easy way of like using the power of SQL and the power of Rails. Like if you have just tables, Rails is awesome. So sometimes we want to have aggregated data, right? We want to have for each broadcast, we want to have the number of votes, we want to have the number of, or the percentage of, like an average value for the donated amount, We want to have the sum of all amounts and so on. That's all aggregated data. And it would be great just to have a table. We have the broadcast ID, and all that aggregated data. So that's, for example, the statistics table. It's a read-only table. It's a view. You cannot write to it, but you can get data from it. And that's perfect because we just want to read statistics, right? So we can treat this thing just as a normal entity in Rails.
All right, yeah, so that's what I was looking for, because I started to change some of the how we call it, some of the charts to pure D3, but the data I was was not right, and yeah, I was looking where to change the data, and yeah, it's here. I see it now exactly.
I can give you a link. So we are using another GAM, which is called Scenic, and I'm putting that into the chat if I can find it. Here's the chat. There you go. So that's the link to the GAM called Scenic. By the way, I could just compile Ruby, and it's working on my machine.
All right. Yeah, I'm finishing right now.
Are you done?
With my compilation, not yet.
All right.
Once again. Yeah, I'm good.
It's your coworker. Oh, now you're muted. Okay, Daniel, I'm going to share my screen now. I think you're muted, but in the meantime, I can show you how this looks like on my machine. So I'm currently in the console of Rails. And I can, for example, see how many broadcasts do we have for the 95. And I can search for it, right? So I can say broadcast search. And for anything, like the same thing which I did on the website. Given one expected 0, why? App, controllers, broadcast controllers. I have to say query. There we go. So, and there's one broadcast. And if I just put in to SQL, then I can see the actual SQL that's happening here. So I have broadcast, and it's doing some inner joins and even left outer joins. So I think that's pre-configured. That's nothing that I have to do. And somewhere in here we have the search term here, right? I can use that SQL and
sorry, I'm back.
no problem, no problem. I can also directly use that SQL and just put it into the PSQL, right? If I just do that, then I get the result back. And so this is a valid SQL. If I say to SQL in my chart, did you see this?
Yes.
So here's my search query.
Okay.
Searching for one word, and I get a result back, or maybe not. Yeah, now I'm getting a result back. So here's the number of results is 1, and this is like this is my broadcast. There we go. Nice. And yeah, so this is all I have to do. Very straightforward. So I just made myself no trouble and installed the GAM in order to do the searching.
Okay, I think the SQL query it's escaped because you pass just the string to the query, so you cannot really do nothing really bad using this GAM.
Yeah, it seems so. Like, I think this is this coalesce. I don't know how it's pronounced, but I guess this is doing the sanitization of user input.
Mm-hmm.
In active record, you sanitize arguments, maybe. You can also search for sanitize. There's dedicated. If you search for sanitize, you will get a method that sanitize. You will get a method back. So there's even a method which you can use to escape user input. This will just give you a string. It's returning a string.
Mm-hmm.
But you can, if you want to build a query, you would use arguments and question marks in the string. So that's like the default. Where is it? Scroll. Did you see anything? There we go. This is how it would look like. You can say client and then .where, and then you pass in the string. Orders count equals and then question mark. And this question mark, if you type in this parameter here, it will be sanitized and it will put at this location.
Exactly.
Just don't do string interpolation. Never do string interpolation in SQL. That would be an SQL injection.
So yeah, I found our web page and it shows you how to do it in most of the languages, not all of them, but you got there Delphi, Ruby, Python. So basic stuff, but
there's a side project at Human Connection, and I recently stumbled upon an SQL injection vulnerability in there because string interpolation was used instead of something like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe because the developer thought the whole string is escaped, but that was not the case. And he was using string interpolation and was just expecting it to be sanitized, but it wasn't. And then we had the security vulnerability, right? Yeah. So this is pretty terrible. SQL injections is the worst thing that can happen if you develop your application, right? If you use string interpolation, there we go. It's even in here. It's even in the documentation. So this code is highly preferable to this code because of argument safety. Putting the variable directly into the condition string will pass the variable to the database as is. This means that it will be an unescaped variable directly from a user who may have a malicious intent. If you do this, you put your entire database at risk because once a user finds out they can exploit your database, they can do just about anything to it. Never, ever put your arguments directly inside the condition string. And I totally agree with that description here. Find more about the Rails security guide. Nice. Yeah. Okay, Daniel, did you get that?
Yes.
Right. If we want to do some, are you interested on working on the search at RFM?
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna work on the database anyway because I want to, I need the data to the chart, so I can look into this.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to become the driver, Daniel?
Yeah. What are we doing?
I don't know yet. Is your Ruby compiled by now?
Yeah, Ruby compiled, but no gems. No, it will take a couple minutes more because I need to run bundle install.
In the meantime, I'll have a look into our issue list, what we can do about the search. So I'm not very happy with the user interface of the search because it's not super intuitive. Okay, most of it is actually in the front end. We have a couple of issues in the front end regarding that page. Do you want to have a small issue that would be already pretty awesome?
Yes, tell me.
It's this one here. It's only related to the front end, unfortunately. You will not change anything in the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to show it?
Yeah. Yeah, show me, because I cannot install the games now.
I'm going to show it once again. So let's say you search for just something like kurz gesagt. Then you have one entity, and the problem is, or maybe something like more, Sendung, next, 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 next. There we go. So we have 5 broadcasts, and this is the problem. If you search for something that returns less than the default of 6 broadcasts, then people don't want to click on next anymore because like the end.
Mm-hmm.
If you click on next, then you see this form, right? So the issue would be that, or the cool feature would be to have a 6 entity entry here, which shows a big plus symbol, for example, right? Create a new broadcast here. And then you can just click on it. It's basically just nothing else than the next button, which will show you the form of a new broadcast.
Okay. Right. And get rid of the button probably as well when there's no... You use any pagination?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to.
So it's automatic when you reach the end of it and there are no results anymore, you will see this form here, which is fine. But it would be super awesome to have like a plus icon here where you can click on it and create a new broadcast. It's basically just the same thing as clicking on next. It's just encouraging the user to add more broadcasts to it, right?
Okay. So that's a component, probably, this create new broadcast, this form. Yes?
I think so. So if we look into the front end and see where templates are, we have find broadcast, and there is unless broadcast. So this is the stuff that you would see if there is no broadcast anymore. Is it true? Help message new broadcast. Yeah. So when there's no broadcasts, then you will see this. And then you have the broadcast form. If there are broadcasts, then you will see each broadcast here. So you would probably add one more component, or maybe so if you could do is something like if broadcasts, if count broadcasts and then equal count broadcasts are less than 6, and then you would do something. Does it make sense?
Okay.
Right, so here we count the number of broadcasts. If they are less than 6, then you would render something.
Okay, this count, that's for something from Ember or just pseudocode?
Say it again?
This count, and that's something from Ember or just pseudocode code?
So the if is coming from Ember, but there are the so-called Ember truth helpers, which is a handy way of doing some logic in the, in the template. Or also good would be just to have an encouraging button where you give the broadcasts, and it's the top of that button to decide if it's going to render anything or not. Yeah.
So yeah, you think that this button should redirect to a new page, or open this form here?
It's opening the form automatically. It just have to step forward. So just do the same thing as pagination. Just make another next button, but with the different description, right?
All right. Okay.
So if we cycle through if we paginate it at the end, then there's this form, right? So can you see this page 8?
Yeah.
Here we are on page 7. So next is really just going to page 8, and that's all you have to do, right? You just render this component if the number of broadcasts is less than 6, and you can render it somewhere here. And then if you click on it, it's just doing the same thing as if you would click on next, and then you're here. All right?
Okay, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there more questions about Rails, Ember, or searching in any of those frameworks? So the find broadcast route is a little bit messy, right? I'm not really happy with the code quality on that page. It has to be improved. It's one of the top pages on Rundfunk mitbestimmen, which people are really frequently visiting. So it would be awesome to have someone improving the layout of that site. There's, again, I will share my screen once more. There's also this, I think it's not super intuitive to have a layout like this here, right? So this here, it's just showing the number of results, and it could be much smaller. It's taking so much space. This search query here should be much bigger. There should be more space between the title and the controls, right? It's
so
just...
How you use columns for that? How is,
yeah, there's a grid layout for it. And you have to sometimes changing the grid layout. So if you click on TV, then there's another drop-down menu, and you have to count for all of that, and also for mobile friendliness. Then you must have it stacking, right?
Yeah.
This needs to be, if I say other, then it's gone. And you have to consider all of that. So it's a little bit difficult to make it nice, but it should be doable. Like, just removing space here would be already pretty awesome.
So I think to the size of the 3 buttons, if it would be the same size, then, or similar size, then it would be good. Like the 3 buttons, on the right.
These here?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So having it up till here, right?
Yes.
That would be pretty awesome. Although I think the buttons here have a fixed size, and it's hard to know how large they are. You would have to look into the CSS of them, like.
Okay, I think you got just this one. Yeah, one icon inside, and you got the padding around. So it depends on what's inside the button.
You want to put it in like one of those buttons?
Yeah, inside you got one icon inside the button. No text, just this one icon, and I think that makes the size of the button. If there would be some text, then the button would be larger.
All right, so you just the number of results and not telling results, maybe results as a label?
I'm talking about the smaller buttons, yeah, it's fixed size because you got just one like one letter, yeah, you got it's not a letter but one character, and that make the size of the button. So
yeah, right, true, absolutely true. Yeah, you can actually have a look into it right now if you want. I can start the front end. I think I have it here. It's been a while since I last started Ember on my machine without using Docker. Oh, really? Last login to user, where does that come from? Interesting. Nice. So there's our live stream, by the way. So let's have a look. Find broadcasts. We have the find broadcast navigation component. So why is it not in row? Yeah. Closing tag must not have attributes. Yeah, that's right. No, same thing. We have to add column. No. So why is there so few space? I don't like that. This is the one, and there's that. There should be more space in between. How does it look like on other pages? Like statistics. They have a huge header thing. Find broadcast. Also, a huge header. Like there's really no space in between here, huh? You see my problem?
You mean in between the header and the next?
Too narrow. I really don't like CSS. I suck at CSS.
Yeah, like everyone. That's the hardest part.
Everyone who's not a front-end developer.
Mm-hmm.
So 16 white column, then we have the form, and we have two fields. This one. So we can have a look in semantic UI. I think the two fields come from them. Form. So these are equally the same size, but this one doesn't. So how do they do that? 12 white field, 4 white field. That's navigation. We don't want that. Broadcast search. That's here. So there's 16 white column, 2 fields. And if we say, what do they have? 12 wide and 4 wide. Yeah. What does that look like? Yeah. Much better, I would say. Yeah. Doesn't look too bad. Even shrink it. You can even say 2. It is 14. Do you agree that right alignment is better?
You mean on the buttons or
on this label here?
I mean inside the text.
Mm-hmm.
You mean the text inside or?
This one here, like I want to have that on this side.
Yeah, it might be because when you, it will look like the buttons, you know. The buttons, the 3 buttons, they are on the right, so the text would be more, you know, make more sense being on the right as well. So it's not that heavy on the left if you search for something.
I just don't understand why it's not working, but yeah, nevertheless. Semantic UI label alignment.
you might have to wrap it in a tag, and like you got the label, but a tag inside the label, and then align it right.
Usually you can just say right aligned, and it's right aligned after that.
Yeah, but it does the whole label and not the text inside the label.
Yeah, and how do I align the text?
I think you need to put a tag inside the label and then align it inside.
Which one? Which tag?
Like you got the text, not broadcast search. Where is it? Where is the number and how many broadcasts? Total count. Yeah. So exactly like this.
I just have to think it might be a segment. It's also like the CSS framework can be a cage sometimes. I know a friend of mine who really rants about my inability to do proper CSS layouting, and I'm always falling back to I'm just using the framework and nothing else. And he really doesn't like that.
Yeah, but that's the easiest, way someone, was thinking about this, who has, more idea about CSS than you. Then
Right
you got
alignment.
here examples, right? Text alignment.
Now I have this silly thing in there.
Okay, so remove the segment maybe, because that's.
Oh, what that?
No, in the CSS class segment.
But this looks okay.
Yeah, now it's okay. No, now it's outside. It's in a box. I think you should remove the segment class.
But then it's not right aligned anymore.
And is there maybe there is something for the segment that you can add, and so you don't have the border around basic or something like that? It was something in semantic. Try basic.
Yeah, there is basic. I had that. This is like basic, and now it's adding also padding to it, which is undesirable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't look that good.
Yeah, because it's two now. You got two columns, and maybe it's too narrow.
How about using a statistic? A small statistic item. Wow, that
might be better.
UI mini horizontal statistic. Yeah. Something has happened. Okay. let's say, the plural. Fair enough. There it is. Boom. Results.
Yeah, try, in Deutsch, because it's Ergebnisse is a bit longer. So
I think I like it. Oh, that looks also not too bad. I think that's
now it has to be right aligned, because
wow. They have a container. No, I don't want that. But maybe I can just move the column to the very end. Like having something like a floated field, which is just at the rightmost position. Like that, just on this, on the right side.
The problem in semantic UI, you cannot like have a column with empty space on the left. You need to have some columns and then what you want to, because in Bootstrap I think you can set that the column you want to in the middle and it works. And in semantic UI there was a problem with that. You need to something on the left when you want to align something to the right. I bump into it once. I don't remember what I was doing, but
I would say I'm going to push this to a branch. I'm currently now on monthly email list revise. Interesting. Why am I on that branch, for God's sake? I don't want to change backend DB structure. And I probably also don't want to change anything in the backend or the gem file. And I probably want to check, I want to stash and check out master and call the master. Probably bundle and bundle and cd backend and bundle. And then front end yarn stopping amber backend and git stash apply. Now I'm checking out another branch. Small results label. Like this is at least one improvement to the find broadcast page, right? And they make less actually intrusive label for the results. Yeah, we have a couple of deprecation warnings here.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. How about left floated? Ah. Oh no.
Don't you have to do this on the 14 white field? No, sorry. UI mini right floated 2 white field. Yeah.
Actually, I just want to have the text to be aligned on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
Does that work? Oh.
Try right floated.
That doesn't work. That will not work either because, oh, it does. Nice. But now we have a really huge search field, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you can make it smaller. It doesn't matter the results column how long it will be because you got it right aligned anyway. So
maybe we should put the results on the bottom, or what? Or maybe next to this. I don't know. Where should we place?
Yeah, because that's all the results or just the search results that you search for.
Now we have all the broadcasts actually.
Because maybe you want it, in the where the title is chose broadcast and you. Okay, no. Now 0 results.
Like the number of total broadcasts in here. Actually, it's better to have broadcasts. Yeah, that's much better. It's not so stupid to have 4,905 broadcasts in here anymore. But do you think we should swap these two here? Or maybe just make this smaller?
Yeah. What I'm thinking, I don't know if it's a good idea, but I'm thinking to move it to the second row on the left. Then you will have, 49 or 40 broadcasts, let's say, and then you see 40 broadcasts and filter by medium this 40.
Although that also reduces that has an effect on the total count. So this is like a global number.
I know, but if this would be in the second row, it will be I think it would be make more sense because then even if you filter this, then it's here and not somewhere else like now.
So you would put it to the second row in any case. You would put it to the second row, this thing here?
Yeah. I don't know if at the beginning or where the empty space is. because it's, yeah, in my opinion, is a natural flow. You search for something, then you get the results, and yeah, on the right of the results you can filter it.
Like that?
Why the buttons moved up?
Yeah, because I swapped it.
Okay.
Would you put the buttons next
okay,
to it?
that's not a problem. Yeah, like that, or on the right, all the way right. I don't know.
Okay, now I'm kind of lost. So you would just put that
At the beginning of the second row.
Here.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, something like that. So now, no, doesn't look. Maybe the font is not good, you know, this statistics. But now, if you search, then you know exactly how many results, and then when you filter, yeah, for me it makes sense like that. But maybe I would use a different element than, you know, the statistics. So it's, you know, similar to the rest.
I'm also considering just to put it up here and just make this search input a little bit smaller. And maybe.
Yeah, yeah, you have to make this now wider.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Although it would be nice to have it aligned with this thing here, huh? Make it also just 6 wide. 10 wide. Looks clean at least. Maybe we could even make this much smaller. And put it in one row.
All.
Yeah, everything in just one row. It was a little bit too small. Yeah, but that doesn't look too bad. Okay, maybe 4 here. Huh? Ah. Okay, looks good, I would say.
And Robert, and this title, that's as well a row. Maybe if you put the broadcast, you know, in the same row as the title, and then you can the rest divide by 4. So you got 4 free fields and one the buttons. I don't know if you can make it wider, but
What should I do?
Move the broadcast to the title row. You know, the 17 broadcasts, one row higher, because there's a row as well, the title.
Yeah, I would put all of these on one line.
Yeah, but I mean, to get rid of the 17 broadcasts from this line and have it, you know, in the title row, and then you can have just, you know, the 3 fields and the 3 buttons in one row. Because now you got 5 elements, and then you will have 4. So.
Yeah, but I want to have the hints here. So the hints is how many broadcasts do we have in one station? So
Right,
you're supposed to see that when you select it.
Okay, so how wide this should be? 4 is enough?
Yeah, if I make it smaller, then it's...
No, I mean, leave it, like, make... yeah, take the 14 broadcasts, you know, the statistics element, and put it one row higher where the title is. And then you will have, you know, more space for the columns, for the fields, sorry.
So that next to this one here. You're talking about that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's a good idea. That's a very good idea. I like it very much. So we have the number of total broadcasts. Count. It's called total count. So that's in search broadcast component.
So we cannot take it out easily. It's in
this component, but I mean, it's okay. It's also just a computed value here. It should be easy to put this on the controller and then have, yeah, okay, let's just do that. So statistics, we can get rid of that entirely. It should be gone. And all we have to do is to put that 2 fields, four fields. Yeah, I like it. I think this looks much better. What do you think?
Yeah, just maybe make the TV a bit wider, so to get rid of this, you know, empty space that on the right. Oh, yeah, I think it looks better when they are the same size.
We have 6 plus 4 plus 4, that is 14. And the buttons. So that's the entire span of 16. And we have to say not only 4, but 5, huh? No. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is this?
What did I do wrong? I did something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Broadcast sort itself is a 4 white field. Okay, so we have 6 plus 12 plus 3 times 4, but that's more than 16. So this should be 2, huh? Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Do you see any arrows? Oh, huh?
Should be good. Just try to shrink the if it looks good when you on smaller screen.
Yeah, okay, now it's a little bit, it's too much here. But I think I like it better. I like it better than on like the layout before.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look that bad. Doesn't look that bad at all. Yeah, it's good. What do you think?
Yeah.
How does it
I
look on
think it's all
tablets?
right.
There we go. So now we have an issue here. It's always the same.
It should stack already here.
Yeah. Do we have something in form that's doing it for us?
Maybe look grid. If there is something, too white. There was a 2-column white on certain, sizes. I know Semantic has something like that.
And you can specify different whites widths on
Mm-hmm.
on different media types. Um, Difficult. Really difficult. But I think the problem is really like the grid, because I think the 3 icons here have. Yeah, can you see this? This is the problem. So if we would have the floated buttons smaller than the 2.
Can you remove this right aligned? So it will be.
No, it will not help. We have to. The buttons are larger than the available column size.
Okay.
So that's the problem here.
So you have to, you need to make this as well a row, like row inside this, 2 columns, and then it should stack. Maybe when there's not enough space.
What happens if I just remove the 4 fields thing? No, then it looks awful. shouldn't look that bad. So I can also just specify fields. The same thing. Can we maybe shrink the buttons? Oh. Oh, it doesn't change anything.
Yeah, that's the problem always.
I hate it. I hate it.
So you have to look at the grid. You can specify that on there is small screen, tablet, and computer, and you can, yeah, try to make it right.
What if I just increase the size, decrease the size of the search field, and increase the size of the buttons? That should also work.
Yeah, you need to make all of them 4, then maybe. This is, yeah, there's too much text inside.
Actually, I have a better idea. You make it just the other way around, 4, and then this is 2, and we just oh no, that's the sort labels or sorted stations. And here we have descriptions, broadcast search filter station description, and then count. I would just how about just using the count, and that's it. Like that.
Still too long.
Yeah, that's much better. Smaller. Nicer. So we have to give this
overlaps.
it overlaps, but we can sort that out. So I'm going to give it 3. So how many do I have to decrease? I have to decrease 6 to, for example, 5. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. What do you think?
Yeah, looks like we won it at the beginning. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I would say this looks better. So what did we do? We said 3, 5, and we removed that description. So we're going to the translations, and I'm going to remove that description. Broadcast search. And we don't need that. Away. Tuning the size of the input fields. Right? Nice. I think I like it. It's better than before.
It's okay.
Yeah, much better. I love it. Okay, do we have... I want to see if we have some missing translations. So there was also broadcast search results, which we don't need anymore, right? Ah, no, that was the total count. But broadcast search result is also now an obsolete translation. And we wanted to go into the controller and the component. Search for total count. We have to fix the test afterwards. That's fair. It's gonna tell us about it. So we remove that and we just map it on the controller, the find broadcast controller. Ah, we can actually use that. Oh, it has it already, total pages. Why don't we just, no, that's total pages, not total count. Total count. Total count. And now we just template Fine, there it is. And just put hashtag and then total count. Okay, there we go. Looks nice.
Put a space in between, yeah, or
I think we can do something like that. Maybe just a space. Maybe space is just enough. Daniel.
Yeah.
Do you want to find a nice way of making this look awesome, like the title? You can also give it a little bit more space, maybe.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking into it.
Right? I would actually now just push it. The test will fail, obviously, because it just removed the total count from that component. But this is enough to remember that we have to maybe show this information somewhere. All right?
Yeah, no problem.
Move total count in the header on find broadcasts. Maybe I'm going to mention you, the cuckoo. That's your...
Yeah.
Could you make the header look awesome?
And these 3 buttons, that's 2 are for sorting from A to Z and Z to A, and the middle one.
This one?
Yeah. Yeah, the middle one.
That's order by name, and that's randomly.
Okay. Because I don't see any button to reset this, How you reset this? Like, if I search for something and I want to, go to the beginning, it would be nice to have a button, to have all the broadcasts without refreshing the page.
I don't see the problem. Like, the default is a random order.
Yeah, but like when you search for something, anything, then look me their mouse, yeah? Yeah, and let's say there you got 10 things on the page, and how you reset this? You have to refresh the page. You don't have any other, way to...
True, yeah, reset the filters. Delete all the filters and delete the search query. That would be awesome. That's true. Right.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to push it. Region U small result label. Although it's something different now. And I'm going to create a new pull request. Which is still work in progress. All right. I think I'm going to edit the description after the meeting.
Yeah, okay. I need to eat something.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a nice meeting.
That was a nice meeting. Then I would say let's see each other for the next meeting. Right?
Yeah.
And I'll keep my fingers crossed for your job interview.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.
See you.
See you later.